Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can I just say, as an Irishman who comes from just up the road here in Rathfarnham, how proud an Irishman I am to be here, to see Irish people hosting something of this size and magnitude in Ireland. So well done to everybody. It's been a tremendous success. I've been asked to come today and just synopsize a little bit about the Ryder Cup and leadership and talk on leadership. And I'm sure you've listened to so many great people speaking over the last few days. And I'm going to do something a little bit different, where I'm going to show you some images and how we used images behind the scenes in the Ryder Cup to try to convey an image from the management to the players. But firstly, for those, I know there's a lot of people here who mightn't be golfers, and I'll just kind of retrace back a little bit and give a bit of a background. For me personally, and also for the Ryder Cup. I'm an Irishman, born and bred just up the road here in Rathfarnham, as I say, 2 or 3 miles away. And I went to college here in Dublin and then finished my education in San Diego in America. I've got a diploma in marketing and a degree in international business. So my background is not really one of these child prodigies like Rory McIlroy, who was a very, very good player from a very young age. I came very much like you, a lot of you people here, through university and thinking that I was going to go into the business world. And at the last minute, golf came up on my rear view mirror, and I ended up being a professional golfer. So here I am 23 years later. I've just captained the Ryder Cup, as you saw there. The Ryder Cup is a biannual event between Europe and America. It's a great honour for me to be the first Irish captain of the Ryder Cup, which I really enjoyed and relished. I played in the Ryder Cup 3 times myself. I've been a vice captain on 2 occasions. I've played in numerous other teams as well too. I think I played in 14 team events and we've won 13 out of the 14, so it's a pretty good record. So in talking to you today, one of the things I just want to show and explain about, there's a number of facets in business, as we all know, in leadership, and I could speak on so many different areas, but there's one particular area that I want to show, and it's the importance of visualness and getting your message across from management down to staff. So there were many when I became captain January 2013, there were many challenges that I figured that I faced as captain. We were playing at home, which always brings a little bit of an expectation. We were going to be favourites. For the first time, Europe were ever going to be favourites going into a Ryder Cup. We were facing a very strong opponent in America, led by one of the icons of the game, in Tom Watson. I've been involved as a vice captain at 2 previous Ryder Cups, and in my view, we needed a little bit of an evolution in our mindset and an evolution of how we approach the Ryder Cups. But most of all, I wanted the team to have a certain personality. I wanted us to all buy into the same ideals and all be pulling in the same direction. I wanted us to be absolutely ruthless in what we were doing and how we're going to go about winning the Ryder Cup. But I wanted to do it with a smile on our face. I wanted to do it with a big heart and a smile on our face. So when I thought about putting a strategy together for that, obviously communication was a huge part of my role as captain. Obviously there's 2 ways of communicating. One of them is through words, and I felt there was nobody better and equipped to deal with the challenge that I was facing in terms of playing at home and expectation and being favourites than Alex Ferguson. So I sought his counsel on a number of issues that I had to deal with, and he was great and a great addition to our team. He came and spoke to the players on the Tuesday night, which was a big thrill for all the players, and he spoke exactly on message of what I wanted to speak about as well too. We communicated before that that's what he would speak about. But the second one, and what I want to talk about today, is how I communicated that message visually to the players as well too. And again, I took the counsel this time of a guy called Nick Bradley, who's an English guy coaching over in America, golf coach. But he's done a couple of award-winning books and where he's used illustrations and images to portray what he's trying to say in his golf books. And I gave him the challenges that I felt we faced, and I asked him to come up with some ideas. Modern parlance, it would be kind of a photoshopping of images and turn them into very powerful images with very powerful words along with them associated to the continuity of message that I wanted to give as captain. So with that, we can just roll the first slide here. The first slide is one that I call the roll of honour. And as I spoke to the team, we had this private small team meeting room, the 12 players on the team, and the 5 vice captains were at that meeting every night. And the players were on a couch in a U-shaped around me. I had a little lectern, not quite as big as this. But this was the image that was right behind me. And this image was really it was a reframing of the favorite tag that I felt we were facing. Favorite tags sometimes can really wear you down. It can be a big burden, being a favorite, the expectation that comes with it. And we'd won 7 of the last 9 Ryder Cups Europe had, and it was important for me to address this issue with the players. So what I did with this image is reframe it. If you look at the right-hand side, they're the years, the most recent years, and we've done 7 of the 9. The little European flag is beside each of them. But if you look in the context and the history of the Ryder Cup going back to 1927, we're still coming from behind. I wanted us to be the hunter, not the hunted. A little bit like a boxer, I wanted us to be on the front foot, not burdened with expectation, on the front foot and chasing. And with that, moving on to the second challenge that I felt we faced was expectation and playing in front of the home crowd. And the second image has to do with my own experience when I played in the 3 Ryder Cups that I played in. I felt very empowered, particularly when I came at home, that I felt I had 15 to 20,000 people around the green who were ready to shout and scream and roar if I would hold a putt or I would hit a shot into that green. When I was hitting a shot into a green, it was surrounded with maybe 10 or 15,000 people, and I knew if I could land the ball close to the pin, they were going to go absolutely mad. And that made me very empowered, and I wanted to bring that into the team room. So the second image, as you can see here, is of Justin Rose. And Justin Rose, we photoshopped this image. And what we have is, you can see his hands are out here, but you can see his hands are connected to the crowd behind. And the whole idea at the bottom is anticipate the roar, elevate the crowd. In other words, you're just standing over a putt from 10 feet. It's incredibly empowering to feel that if I can hold this putt, I've got 20,000 people who are going to scream their lungs out if I can manage to do that. Moving on to the third one, and that was respecting our opponents. That was a very big, a huge big challenge that I felt we faced. We're coming against the might of America, the stronghold in golf, and I really wanted to get across to the players the importance that in a Ryder Cup, with my experience, it's going to ebb and flow. There's going to be times when the team is doing well during the 3 days. There's going to be times when things don't go so well. And it's important when those things happen that we remain solid, we stand firm. And this third image here is of the rock in a raging ocean. And the image, the words down the bottom, we will be the rock when the storm comes. And that also applied to management as well too. I want the players to be very confident that there was going to be a management here who were not going to panic. When naturally what was going to happen, we're playing against some of the best players in the world, things were going to go against us at some stage. But ultimately we will be the rock, we'll ride the storm, and we'll come back. Moving on to the third thing, and I really wanted to have an attitude, a modus operandi of the team. I want them to have everybody with the same ideals, everybody singing from the same hymn sheet. We've had a template in place. Like all templates, it needed evolution. I'd been involved in the 2 previous wins that we won. We won by 1 point. And I felt that our attitude just wasn't quite right. In years gone by, when we were heavily underdogged against America, and we relied strictly on passion in order to win Ryder Cups, and we used to win the odd Ryder Cup that way. But things have changed. Now we've some of the best players in the world. The best player in the world, Rory McIlroy, was on our team. We'd 4 of the top 5 in the world. And I wanted us to show that strength and be proud of it and embrace it, rather than be afraid of it. So this next image is one of Graham McDowell, and he's holding 2 scales. The scales on the right-hand side are past Ryder Cups gone by, and the scales on the left-hand side are future Ryder Cups. And the message is very clear. On the right-hand side, past Ryder Cups, passion has got us to where we are, but it will be attitude that will shape our future. The last one that I wanted to have, the last image that we had, and all these images were placed around the team room and in the environs, the private area of the team environs, the locker room, the corridors to the bedrooms, the areas where we're going to eat, the team meeting room, all of these, they were all positioned in these areas, so it wasn't for public access, it was purely for the players to see these images. And the last one was really about the ruthlessness that I felt we needed. It came from a quote that I read once on Seve Ballesteros, and he talked about his attitude when he was playing, particularly in Ryder Cups. And his quote was, "I look into their eyes, I shake their hand, I wish them good luck, but then I think, I'm going to bury you." And that was the kind of ruthlessness that I felt we needed as a team. And this next image is of a very, very young Seve Ballesteros. with the message down the bottom, look into his eyes, his mission is clear. You can see that rootlessness in him. But at the same time, as well as having that rootlessness, I wanted us to do it with a smile on our face. I want us to enjoy the challenge of what was ahead of us. So in conclusion, these images were ways that I tackled the challenges that I felt we faced as a team. And there were numerous challenges. They all seemed to work and the players seemed to like them. And it was the continuity of message, as well as my words at the team meetings and the words of Alex Ferguson who spoke. These images tied in exactly, so we were all coming from the same place. We were all talking on the same ideals and along the same lines. Just in summary then, going through all the images, the roll of honor on the top left-hand corner there, that was to do with the favorite tag. The one on the right-hand side of Justin was empowering, being empowered in front of your home crowd, not being intimidated and under pressure. The third one is that we were going to be the rock, the ebb and flow of a Ryder Cup. It was going to come at us. They were going to come at us at some stage, and we wouldn't overreact. The next one with Graham was adjusting our attitude. We are now favourites for the Ryder Cup. Let's embrace that. Let's go forward with it, and let's have a slightly different attitude. Passion alone won't win this Ryder Cup. And the last one is the ruthlessness that we needed to show, and Sebi Ballesteros was the strongest image for that. So that is a story of how I, as captain, led a small story there in the many facets of management that I needed to deal with in my role as captain. As you all know, there's many other facets of leadership and of management that obviously I don't have time to talk about here today. But the one thing I really wanted you all guys to get in and to understand is the old adage, a picture paints 1,000 words, can be used in leadership, in management, to very strong effect. And I think we did it very well in the Ryder Cup. Thank you for your time and enjoy the rest of the summit. Thank you.